I'm John Bishop. I'm here in St. Louis. I've been here for about 16 years. About 6 years ago, I wrote a book and set up a not-for-profit called Accent on Success. I started the book because my granddaughter was in middle school. She was in 7th grade and went to a what we call a magnet school in town. And theoretically a little better than the average inner-city urban school, and I think it was. But I went to a parent-teacher conference, and I hadn't been to one in a long time. Having raised our kids up in rural Maine, going into inner-city school was quite interesting, to say the least. But I got to the classroom before the teacher, so I had an opportunity to look around. And on one of the walls there was a bulletin board with essays from 7th grade kids about the night. And one 7th grade girl wrote, "I'm not afraid of the night. I'm not even afraid when the bullets start. I take my brother and lay in the bathtub until the shooting stops." That affected me. It affected me very deeply. Because the world has changed. I'm old enough to know that some of it's very good, some of it's very bad. We can't turn the clock back, and the genie is out of the bottle. So how do we help these kids that are bombarded in rapid communications and people that are stressed, family situations that are significantly different than when I was growing up? And I'd always been around goal setting. So after about 2 weeks of thinking, I decided I'd write a little program for goal setting and maybe make a little presentation in front of that class and maybe, do something on a very local level. And my wife got to hearing about it and talking about it. She knew a lot of teachers. I'm not a teacher. I got a lot of books on and looked at all these books, what made a good curriculum and why. I talked to probably and had valuable input from probably 25 people with advanced degrees in education and curriculum development, including going all the way up to the School of Education at Harvard. And took a year and a half to write the book. What we decided to do was a little different. I went and put 65% of the book online for anybody in the world to download for absolutely free. We did that 2.5 months ago. It's been downloaded over 3,200 times and has reaching in excess of 300,000 kids all over the world. And we have hits, if you will, from India, Brazil, Russia, Bulgaria, Hungary. It goes on and on and on, all parts of the world. We're still looking for something from the Antarctica, but we haven't gotten that yet. But it seems we've gotten it from everywhere else. Our conceptualization, or my conceptualization when I wrote that book, was to be able to break it down into 8 parts. What is success? Because we all define it differently. What is a goal? Okay, how do I set a goal? How do I measure my progress toward reaching it? How do I identify and overcome potential roadblocks and that sort of thing? And so we segment each one of these chapters out so that the kids can get some, we call it meat on the bones. They really get a chance to understand what goal setting is all about. But the powerful thing about this tool, and that's not my words, that's people telling me, is that we are showing kids specifically how they can use the goal setting principles in the class, so that we're in the theme of that runs through the book, is that teacher is out in front of you, is teaching about math or English or something like that, is also teaching you about life, how to communicate, how to get along, how to prioritize your time, and those sorts of things. But you have to help them. And then the other theme that goes through there is that it's important to help other people. And that's not necessarily the message they get in advertising. But I hope it elevates goal setting for what it is. It can be the glue that can put somebody's life back together. If somebody can help a person develop a realistic goal and learn how to use goal setting properly, It can teach that kid how to take almost insurmountable object, break it down into doable parts, and then get busy and get going on it. And when that happens, whether it's about the education or about their own personal life or something in sports that's going to drive their self-esteem, whatever that is, now you're starting to positively impact a kid on a real fundamental level. And you can take that child can leave you and take that into the world and build on that. And I think goal setting is an underutilized tool that can powerfully change people's lives, and it can powerfully change the education system. I broke my back twice, yet I still managed to get 2 black belts in martial arts and a couple other things. But I've owned companies. I've had a sales force of 300 people. I've always been around goals and positive energy, and if you can conquer it in your mind, you can pretty much conquer it type thing. So I come from that vantage point, if you will, that, and I've certainly had adversity that I've had to overcome, and I didn't let it beat me. And those kinds of lessons, as you and I both know, are define you. You can either let a bad life event be your negative boat anchor for the rest of your life, or you can use it as a springboard, and I used it as a springboard. But the long and short about it was I've always been around goals. My objective is to become the industry standard for all kids in all schools in the United States if you're going to learn about goal setting. And you want to do it something more than the 20-minute, I taught them goal setting, check, let's move on type of an approach. But that is our goal it's for developing more tools for helping kids succeed. That is the sole purpose of it. I think my legacy is nothing short of wanting to be the father of goal setting for students. I want to reach at least 1.5 million people next year and then have it go from there. I want to have it get to a point where it just becomes the standard. You want to go anything about goals or anything about motivating kids or anything like that, get over to Bishop's Place and download the stuff that's free. And there's something there for $8, but don't worry about it. You can pay the $8 and you can still, email it all over the world, and nobody's going to know or care. You just, he'll help build another. I guess that would be my legacy. I want to be known as a father of God. I never thought of it like that, but goal setting for students. Yeah, I could be very happy with that on my grave. We're developing another book right now, and it is, and I don't have a problem telling it because I've gone out to the social networks and asked one question and gotten somewhere around 800 responses so far. What's the best advice you ever received? And give me 2 or 3 sentence answers. And the responses have been fascinating. But the idea, I think, maybe I'm wrong, is that these kids are in a Twitter world, if you will. They don't want lectures, but they know they need the information. They actually want the information. So how can I give them that information in bite-sized pieces? And I wouldn't hesitate to tell somebody to do it. Wouldn't hesitate. I'm going to give them advice, but I don't want it to scare them. It's going to take twice as long, and it's going to take 3 times as much effort. But do it. If your heart is saying it, and the brain in between your ears is saying it, get it done. Go for it. And just understand it's going to take longer than you thought, and it's going to take a lot more effort than you thought, but it's going to be worth every single bit of it.